luckily they didn't see the thing that didn't work out perfectly today. Yes. So, what a great start of the month of June. I had 2 weeks off, and for some reason it sounds like if you're 2 weeks off, you're gonna get it full throttle with nice little amount of gremlins. Who cares? We're just doing it live. So NDI, let's talk about NDI. So first and foremost, before we go into NDI, just a quick recap on what we said a few weeks ago. We also have other means of bringing in video. We have, for instance, HDMI. Everybody knows HDMI because that's what you have on your television set at home. We have obviously also SDI, which is basically also a cable, which I do have it right here. Right there. This is a SDI cable right there, which is a more professional cable. And then, of course, we've got NDI, and NDI goes via the Ethernet. And it can be Ethernet cabled or Wi-Fi. In my case, I am using the cabled version of it, and it works quite well. But there is a catch, and that's something that we haven't talked about before, because, well, basically I could not talk about it in a very good sense at the moment. So NDI has been around for about, I think 5 or 6 years ago. It was a big thing at IBC here in Amsterdam. It was cut the cord, get rid of SDI. It's a new SDI, or whatever you want to call it. At least it is a professional connection. And it has been a professional connection. But the cool part is that the inventor of NDI, which is NewTek, who is also known by their work for a TriCaster, which is a switcher system like vMix or Livestream Studio or Wirecast or whatever all the other brands are. But they also had the idea of having a IP or network-based protocol, and they came up with NDI. Now, NDI is low latency. It is going through your own network, and it really works quite well. I mean, you are looking at a NDI stream. Now, granted, at the start of this show, we had to a little bit do it again, but my camera fell off, and I thought first that it was the NDI system, but it was not the NDI system. It was actually my camera that did it. So that's the reason why I took the converter and put it into the camera. I don't know why it's doing that, but we'll figure that out for sure. But it's not the NDI system. It just stopped. Now comes the thing. So NDI, there are actually not one, but 2 flavors if it comes to NDI. You've got NDI, which is a full quality product, which is exactly what you are looking at the moment. That is full NDI. It does cost more bandwidth. So your network congestion, if you are worried about congestion in your network, then NDI is going to be a bit of a trick. And I have to admit that if I have the possibility in this studio at the moment to bring in 2 full NDIs, and actually it's going to be a little bit 3 if one of the additional products that we will hopefully can talk about this month comes along, then I have 3 full NDI components here in the studio. However, it does come at a cost, because after this 2 or 3 NDIs, I cannot do anything in the studio anymore with full NDI. I can still use the other one, which is a more compressed version of NDI. So by compression, I mean that it has less data. It needs less data to give you a picture. And there's a plethora of products that are doing that. So NDI HX is kind of like the new standards, because you can also use it via Wi-Fi. If it's always that good, I can tell you no, but it is something that you can use if you would like to. Then, and we were gonna today talk about all of the possibilities very briefly, but coming 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to go in depth in the separate topics. However, it's important that you guys can actually tell me what you want to know. So I see Jason is in the house, Kathleen, my dad is in the house, Allison is in the house, Rudy is in the house at YouTube as well. Let me bring on the Facebook just in case, because I do occasionally see that it's not updating for some reason. But now, so what are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about a few things. First and foremost, where is NDI and what can you use with NDI? So first and foremost, in vMix we do have NDI. So if I go into vMix, which is my choice, my system of choice, and I go to my screen here. Hello, it's quite big. There is a possibility to add an input. And then you can go to the fifth option here. It says NDI desktop capture. And here you have all the NDI cameras that I have connected at the moment. And note that there's also a vMix output 1 and output 2 and maybe output 3 and output 4. And if you have let's say a more basic version of vMix, you probably have only 1 or maybe 2 of them. And all you have to do is click on it and then say OK, and then you have added your camera, which is fantastic. Because why is that so fantastic? Is that because if I would like to put it on this computer right here, then I don't need to have to connect this camera to that system. I can actually just pick it up and use it right there. Want to see? Well, I can go this way and just show you very quickly. So let's go this way and show you. I have to go this way too, otherwise you cannot hear me, but I can show you by starting vMix and doing the same thing that I just did. So adding NDI, I can actually bring in my output. So say add input, NDI. I clicked on something wrong. There you go. Boom. So now you see right there that I have the connection going from this system to my vMix to that system right there, which is exactly what I love to do, because if I need to sit here with 2 or 3 people to make it happen so that we have a good program, a good show, I can actually, for instance, use this computer to switch cameras, that computer to bring in, for instance, graphics and stream. So that makes it that I can actually divide the load between the two without, yes, you guessed it, without having to reconnect stuff or whatever. It just works, which is fantastic. Now, that being said, there are also other possibilities to do it, and that is by phone. For instance, there are a lot of NDI enabled applications on my phone, and actually I can show you what I mean by that. So let me, oh, this is my bad. Let me start something up. Right. Oh, doof. Yes. 2, 3, and let me do something quickly here so that I can actually make it so that you can still see me then. Okay, that's then done, and there you go. Okay, so let me, come on. For some reason it's not. Stop it again. Starting it again. Capture, start broadcasting. Oh, no, I say stop, start, I mean. 3, 2, 1. Whoop. There you go. So now you can actually see that on this system I am using NDI in order to see it. Now it does come at a cost, because this, even though this is NDI HX, I'm actually using my Wi-Fi network over here. However, it still is a nice product, because what I can do now is I can actually show you what I have on my phone. I can go this way, I can, and then you will see it. And I can also maybe go this way, right, like that, so that you can see that too. I can open the NDI SRT connection. And these are applications that I use for several different use cases. So the one that I'm using right now is the one that is called NDI HX. We just explained to you what HX stands for. So that is the compressed version. So I'm capturing my phone's screen for you. So it's all not tethered. It's just going via the via the Wi-Fi, and it's actually working quite nicely. You can also, for instance, use the NDI HX camera like so, and then you'll see that it's actually using this. Now again, I am now really congesting my network, but you can actually see that it's actually working like a additional camera, like there. So now let's go back. So there's also that, so NDI HX camera, that so you can actually bring in a NDI source via your phone, which is really nice. Now there are other use cases as well. For example, if I am doing a multi-camera production and somebody wants to know what is actually broadcasted, then there are two options that I have on my phone that allows me to give somebody who is at the camera the output of what I am broadcasting. And for instance, NDI Monitor will do that for you. So if I do this one, you will be able to select one of the different products. So for instance, I can go to my own, to the other screen that I have right there. And then this is what you have then. So this is then the output of well, let me get something else. Maybe just, there you go. So I even though it's not fully 100% accurate at the moment, this will help the cameraman to decide to see what is on their system. So that is one of the things that you can do as well. But the NDI Monitor also allows you for one thing more. And that next to, for instance, a cameraman and knowing what you are broadcasting, you can actually also use it for for instance, the following. If you are having an interview and you want to make sure that you're looking at the person themselves, you can actually put your phone like so right below your camera, of course out of sight, but this just to indicate what I mean, and then have a like a how do you call it, teleprompter, so that you can look at your lens and have a discussion with the people that you are interviewing, which is nicer than having to look like this to see if everything is fine, because that looks a bit awkward. And that is something that I will always do, but this will also help you to do that. Last but not least is our, of course, NDI Audio Monitor, and that can be used for other things, like for instance comms, for instance, so that you can hear what another person is doing or what that kind of stuff, and that also works. And yeah, it also looks a little bit like the same. You can select the NDI source that you have and then just select it, and then you will hear only the audio of this product. Okay, so that is that one. And I wanted to at least show you that NDI can also be used for your phone. Of course, if you want a little bit more information on one of those applications, then let me know, because I am here for you to help you the coming few weeks. But I just wanted to have a quick setup so that you know what I'm going to talk about and what you can learn. Other things, we're not done yet. Other things is that NDIs can be a central part of an of a camera. For instance, the new Mevo, and of course you know that I loved the old Mevo, but it did come with a quirk that it only worked on Live Stream Studio. But the new Mevo actually also allows for NDI support, NDI HX support. And there are also, for instance, PTZ cameras, like for instance this one right here. This is PTZ optics. Now, this version of PTZ optics that I have specifically in my hand does not have NDI built in. However, you can upgrade it with a license. So it's a software license. So you ask your reseller to provide you some details, and you can purchase a license. And that's exactly what I did on this one. I have to do it like so, but I have a sticker at the bottom of this camera right here. And that is actually the license that I bought, so that if something goes wrong, I know exactly which product had which license. Because I have to admit, with this particular model, with this particular camera, it is not a very good experience. It's because if this one for some reasons resets, you have to reinstall the license, and that does come at some quirks, and you don't want to have that when you are in the field. So that's the reason why I rather would ask you not to buy the camera and then at the later stage, software wise, upgrade it, do it in one go, so you don't get this problem at all. That is just one thing, but we can definitely talk about it. And the cool thing about NDI is that if you use NDI with, for instance, a PTZ camera, the only connector that you have to put in is right here. It is the Ethernet port. So with one cable, you'll have Ethernet, so your network. You've got your power, PoE, power over Ethernet, and you have control. So you can pan, tilt, and zoom this camera with just one single cable. And that is really, really interesting. Why? Because if you are going to a different location, you don't want to spend a lot of time dressing and making those cables. You want to be swift and as quickly as possible. By the way, this is NDI source still, and it's still working great. And the camera is also great, so it really seemed to be the battery for some reason. I don't know why. We'll see. We'll figure that out. Next, and the last thing that I want to talk to you about in the coming 2-3 weeks, and please again tell me what you'd like to know more, is that I want to talk about a company that is called Burdock. Burdock creates full NDI encoders and decoders, but also PTZ cameras. And I am in the lucky position that I have two of these. One of them is you're actually looking at it. This is the second one, and if if everything goes well, a different one will come later this month. At least that is what I hope. And then I can talk about Burdock as a company by itself, because I think that is a very interesting product, especially because they go a little bit further. Remember that 2 weeks ago we had a show about SRT, right? Now SRT and NDI are actually, you can connect them the two so that you can go from NDI to SRT and back to NDI, so that you have the possibility to have a remote production. That's where BirdDog has a nice feature which we can talk about as well. So I'm really pumped about that. So those are the topics that I wanted to talk about today, so that you have an idea on which topic I can discuss the coming month. This is the month of NDI. You are in charge. You tell me what you like to do. I am actually starting up my phone just in case, because it might be that I am not seeing every single comment. It does seem that I am seeing all the comments. That's great. Okay, that's it for what I have in store today for you guys. I just wanted to quickly hop on to say what you can expect, and yeah, let me know what you think of it. From my personal experience, I would like to talk about PTZ cameras next time, because I think that is a very good suggestion to work on that and to show you the possibilities with systems like this. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate you taking your time on your Monday evening or Monday morning. And also, if you are looking in Australia, then of course a fantastic Tuesday morning as well. That's it for today. Next week I'm back. I will be back every single week in June. I am considering to have a short break, or in July or in August, probably in August, but we'll see that later. I will take the coming month to see when that is, just because, you know, a bit of a free time is also very nice. But at least in June we're here for the full month. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic time. And if you want to support the show, please go ahead and like this page. Like the channel. Subscribe to the page. Like the videos. Do whatever you do. At least try to communicate, and that is very much appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you on the next one. Bye bye.